Hey guys, welcome to Hit Cricket, your source for cricket analysis, commentary, and fun. I'm Rahul, and today we're going to be looking at our second episode of the Indian steals and gems that will be in the auction. Now, in the previous video, we just looked at five potential gems that can be in the auction. From here on out, we're going to organize it in a way where we look at players in terms of their role that they perform. So today we're going to be talking about the fast bowlers that could be out there in the market, Indian fast bowlers that could be bought for cheap and be a league winner. So the first name I have on my list is the pacer from Karnataka, Prasidh Krishna. Now, he's a right-arm fast bowler. He's played for India. He's in the squad for India in the Border Gavaskar Trophy currently. And while he's been derailed by injuries by the last couple of seasons, he hasn't played because of injuries. He's someone who has so much talent. He has 31 wickets across the last 27 games in the last two seasons, and he's only bowled at an economy of around 8.6-ish. It's been under 9 in these tough circumstances, and that is magnificent. He bowls at 140 clicks, and he's tall, which means he can generate bounce and good pace off the wicket as well. So I think he'll be a really cheap option just because of the fact that he hasn't played in a couple of seasons. And I think he'd be great for a team like RCB or MI on those bouncy wickets where extra pace would suit. Chinnaswamy is his home ground, so I feel RCB would suit him. And in MI, he'd be a beast with that extra bounce he can generate. And any pacey track would really suit him. So I think he'd be a really viable option for cheap for those teams. Next is Rafiq Salam. I mean, what a bowler he was for Delhi Capitals last year. The way he just turned up and bowled those crushing, toe-crushing Yorkers at the death and the back of the hand slower deliveries to Fox, a lot of quality batsmen, was amazing. And he's only 24 years old, and like I mentioned, the Yorker and slower ball are outstanding, and he's so economical at a phase in the game which goes for a lot of runs. And last year, we saw how well he performed for DC in the death overs on a ground like Delhi, where the boundaries are so short and the pitch is so flat. So I think he can be a great death bowling option that comes for a relatively low amount of money in the auction. I feel he'd be great on a ground like Lucknow, and honestly, any team can get him just for his death bowling services because that commodity is in need for every team, regardless of where they play. Next, I have a name who has been brought up a lot, but unfortunately hasn't lived up to the hype, and that is Umran Malik from Jammu and Kashmir. Now, we all know about Umran Malik. He has raw pace. I mean, he can clock 150, 155. We've seen him clock raw pace. But unfortunately, the line and length haven't been on point to the extent that Sunrisers could start him on a consistent basis over the last 3 years. However, the raw talent is there. The raw pace is still there. And if furnished, he could be such a lethal bowler in certain types of conditions. So I feel that he can be bought for real damn cheap and groomed into the fast bowler who that team can expect. We saw Umran Malik with that amazing fifer against the Gujarat Titans a couple of years ago and how good he was and how good his pace was and how if he gets his line and length right, he can be lethal on any given day. So I feel that investing in him a little bit amount of money for potential huge reward is definitely worth it. Next, I have the ex-RCB pacer and current Indian team pacer, Akash Deep. I mean, Akash Deep, we've seen him swing the ball both ways. He has really good pace. He has really generates really good bounce, and he's played really well for India on the test side. And he's picked up wickets with the new ball for RCB whenever given the opportunity as well. And I feel that again on a ground like the Chinnaswamy or ground like the Wankhede, his extra bounce and pace would be ideal. Uh, I feel that if he goes to a ground with that extra bit of zip and extra bit of pace, he can definitely give you 2 to 3 overs with a new ball. Yes, his death bowling skills are not up to point at the moment, but I still feel he can be used as a new ball threat and a middle over threat if given the opportunity. And he won't go for too much money either. Max 2 to 3 crores. So someone like a Mumbai or RCB should look to get him. Next, I have a name which has been circling around for a while, over the past month or two, and it was Mumbai Indians who had him last year, Anshul Kamboj, and he's just come about in the ranks. He's been magnificent with the new ball. He's shown some death bowling credentials in the ACC Emerging Players Cup as well. Got a man of the match against Pakistan A. Uh, and also he just has that pace. He bowls out the high 130s, low 140s, gets the ball to swing both ways. He looks like a real talent, raw talent, and he has age on his side as well. So definitely, I think I see Mumbai Indians putting their RTM on him, but he's definitely someone who won't go too much in my opinion, but will be one of those late round steals that can win you the IPL with both his new ball credentials and his the 1 or 2 overs he can give you in the back end also. Next, I have the new ball sensation Vaibhav Arora. How good was he for KKR in the power play last year? That ball to Travis Head to knock him over in the finals still is in my eyes. Uh, he bowls some jaffers in the power play, and he's one of those wicket takers in the power play which are rare to find. He reminds me a bit of a Bhuvaneshwar Kumar in the way he swings the ball both ways in the power play and is can be transformed into a lethal bowler if given the opportunity and given more game time to actually be a consistent power play bowler. And we saw him bowl at the death last year too, to some extent, and exceed there as well. He has a decent Yorker also. So he's not only a complete new ball threat, but also can be used at the death. But I'd say that even his new ball credentials themselves warrants him a spot on a roster. And I feel like he won't go for too much just because there's no name value associated with him, but he's someone you can get for damn cheap who can win you the game with 2 to 3 wickets early up front itself. Next, I have a name Gurchabneet Singh. Now, he's a good left arm pacer, and he's on CSK's wish list at the moment. Bowls a good pace. He can swing it both ways, and he's been on the radar of a few teams, but I don't see him going for too much money. But he can be one of those guys who's not an immediate starter, but groomed into becoming a starter. So you can have him as a backup left arm pace bowler. So if one of your big pacers goes down, you can just plug him in and see what he can do. The next name I have on my list is PV Satyanarayan Raju. Now, he's unknown commodity at the moment, but he's got raw pace. He's a bustling pacer, and he's attended trials of both Mumbai Indians and Sunrise Hyderabad, and has impressed a few people and got a few people to look at him in those trials. And he swings it both ways, outstanding weapon, and he has a good variations as well, such as the back of the hand slower delivery. So he can definitely bowl good in those slower wickets like Lucknow, Rajasthan, and Chennai in the death overs to try and pick some wickets and also contain runs through his back of the hand slower delivery. And he's a new ball threat, can give you 3 overs up front with a new ball as well, given that he is a good swing bowler up front. So I feel like any of those slower wickets or any of those wickets that assist more swing and seam like Wankhede Stadium would suit him. So just either give him 3 overs up front with a new ball on any ground, or give him overs with the back end of the innings as well, with the slower deliveries coming into play. So he can assist with both varieties, and I think he's going at base price. I don't know if anyone has him on his radar. So it can be a real steal for someone to get that type of pacer who can bowl in both phases of the game for cheap. Next name is Atif Chowdhury. Now, there's not enough information about him on the circuit, but apparently he's a young pacer, similar to Umran Malik, who's clocked 145 at SRH trials in the nets. He worked with SRH last year and was able to generate good steam and good pace. And he's also from Jammu and Kashmir, where Umran Malik is from. He was a net bowler for SRH last year, and he showed his performances at the nets. And he, similar to Umran Malik, has the raw speed at the moment, but is someone who still needs to get up to pace with his line and length. But I feel that similar, I'm drawing parallels with Umran Malik because it's the same case. You can take him for his raw pace and then groom him so that he can get his line and length right, and you can suddenly get a really dangerous, lethal bowler for not no money at all. So I feel like someone like this with raw pace would be extremely useful on a pitch like Wankhede or on a slowish wicket to just enforce the pace early on. Next, I have Vidwat Kaverappa, a pacer from Karnataka. I mean, we haven't seen much of him in the IPL, but we saw one game last year where he got played against RCB and got 3 wickets, and also had the chances of Kohli and Patidar dropped as well. Otherwise, he could have potentially had a five for on his first game last season for Punjab Kings. I mean, I think he's a talent. He showed how he can bowl at good pace, bowled extremely well with the new ball last year. I think he got 4 overs on the trot, and he's a definite new ball threat, similar to Vaibhav Arora I was talking about, although not on the same level. I'd put Vaibhav Arora ahead of Kavirappa, but Kavirappa is someone you can get potentially for base price or a bit over base price to swing the ball both ways and try and just pick wickets early on with a new ball. I see RCB potentially being a good landing spot for him, given that's his home ground, or I see him going back to Punjab Kings as well, considering they did see that performance out of him and hit him so that they can get him back. Next, I have Rajvardhan Hungergaker. Now, he's been warming the CSK benches for the past couple of years, but he had a good India under 19 campaign at the World Cup, and he's someone who is talented with both bat and ball. He can hit a long ball with the bat, and he can also bowl in different phases of the game with the ball. So he's someone I'm looking forward to see where he goes because he is someone CSK scouted, and CSK's scouting system is pretty good. And also, he has shown skills with bowling in different phases of the game, and also being trained under the likes of MS Dhoni and Dwayne Bravo. I only see him having improved at his time at CSK and become an even better bowler than his under 19 days. So I think Rajwardhan Hungergaker could be a steal at the price he goes, which could be base price or a bit above base price. And finally, for the fast bowlers, I have Vijay Kumar Vishak, the pacer from RCB last year. Now, he didn't get much of an opportunity last year, but I thought that in the opportunities he's had for RCB, Vaishak Vijay Kumar has been an outstanding bowler. He has a great slower delivery, bowls outstandingly well in the middle overs, and also can bowl in the depth as well with his slower deliveries that he possesses in his arsenal. So I think he'd be definitely a fantastic fit for a team like the Chennai Super Kings at that Chepauk ground, or Lucknow Super Giants at Lucknow, or the Rajasthan Royals at the Sawai Mansingh Stadium, which is one of the biggest stadiums in the IPL. So on those bigger boundaries, I feel that he can really come into play through his slower balls and protecting the boundaries and generate a lot of wickets by getting a lot of batters caught in the deep. So he's someone I'm really looking forward to look at who would go for cheap, and someone like a Lucknow or Chennai can grab him and use him for on their pitches that suit Vijay Kumar Vishak. I won't be surprised if RCB also goes back to him, considering he's played good for them and he's also Kannadiga boy, so he knows the Chinnaswamy Stadium pretty well. So these are all the pacers I have who could be potential steals or gems in the auction. The next video, I'll be talking about potential spinners that could be steals. So until then, goodbye.